because a man sleeps with another woman does not mean he doesn't still respect you. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. No, she means nothing to him. And if you think I'm going to give up my life for a man that loves me and respects me and take care of me, he didn't claim her. He put that ring on my finger.
Okay.
But why am I going to leave over someone that doesn't mean anything? He's a man. He's just going to be a man. That's it. My soon-to-be husband, like, he treats me well. He respects me. I don't have to ask for anything. But at the same time, I also do what I'm supposed to do with a woman. I cook, I clean, I suck, I fuck, I shut the fuck up. So
you know how she was like, pick me, choose me, love me. Did you know that he didn't pick her after that? Did you know that she said, pick me, choose me, love me, and he didn't pick her? Isn't that horrifying? Isn't that literally so humiliating and terrifying?
You know, I feel like being a pick-me is really not that bad. I mean, hear me out. Obviously, we cannot live our lives revolved around men and just, you know, we need to descend to men, obviously. But the worst thing about this whole pick-me-sha thing is not the girls. It's the fact that we've been led to believe that every man out there is worth being picked by. These lot out here. Some men, you don't get sense. You're not disciplined. You have terrible communication. You're not emotionally intelligent. You're not compassionate. You lack empathy. You don't like to read. You don't have hobbies. You're not interesting. I don't want to be picked by you.
Hey fam, so today we will be talking about the pick-me girlies and also toxic masculinity. Some people have the opinion that there is nothing like toxic masculinity. For the pick-me girlies, those are some group of girls that believe that they are supposed to be at the service of men. They're out to do whatever a man wants. They are kind of against feminism, and they believe strongly in the patriarchal system. They believe in the traditional wife system, the way women did in the past, serving men and all that. So they've taken it upon themselves to be at a man's service, to do whatever a man wants. But the shocking thing here is this: those men are not going for them. Those alpha men, those red pill men, those toxic masculine men are not going for those pick-me girls, and they have a reason for that. We are going to look into that reason in this video, and we are also going to figure out if there's really something like toxic masculinity. Let's get started.
My question is, what is the antidote towards toxic masculinity?
What precisely, since we're going to pursue this, what precisely is toxic masculinity, as opposed to, say, toxic femininity or toxic humanity? What exactly are you asking me about?
I really want to know what you like, how you would describe toxic masculinity. Because
No, I want you to define what toxic masculinity constitutes. Since we're going to define things so carefully, let's do it.
it neglects the freedom of the opposite, well, gender or whatsoever. So that's toxic masculinity, and that you kind of have.
But that would also be toxic femininity.
Well, may I like finish my sentence?
Sure.
Please? Thank you. And then also, I lost my sentence now. But no, I will be back. I'm back.
That the utterance toxic masculinity actually constitutes a meaningful phrase. And if you push it, you find very rapidly that it doesn't.
No such thing as toxic masculinity?
No such thing.
There are toxic people, and those toxic people can be masculine or feminine. But when the man pulls you out of your burning building, you don't give a fuck how masculine he is. There's no two masculine men. Masculinity is masculinity. Femininity is femininity.
There is such thing as toxic masculinity.
There is no. The
Disavow.
So toxic masculinity was a term created in the 1990s when psychologists were trying to study violent offenders in prison. When guys would step on each other's toes and then they would start slapping each other, it was just a term that was used by those psychiatrists to determine a type of behavior where men would resort to extreme levels of violence for no reason. And then somehow mainstream psychology got a hold of it and became this pop term. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. There is just masculinity, and then there are some people who are toxic. That has nothing to do with each other. I can show you tons of people who are extremely toxic online, and some of them are masculine and some of them are feminine, but the two are mutually exclusive. The idea of toxic masculinity is to shame men for doing things that other people don't agree with. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity.
The most eye-opening thing I ever learned about men was from my college human sexuality class, where the professor told us that men don't actually like women. Not all men, sure, but hang in. He said that the way that our society socializes boys to, quote, become men is not to tell them how to be men, it's just to teach them how to not be women. Don't cry, be a man. Don't be a pussy, be a man. Don't be weak, be a man. Don't be sensitive, be a man. Don't like those things, those are girl things. And the tool we use to do that kind of socializing, to steer them away from feminine things, is shame. And you just can't go your whole life being told that the worst thing you could do is be like a woman and expect to actually like women at the end of that. But they are also taught that their sexual attractiveness to women and their ability to get women is a status symbol in front of other men. So they will sexually pursue women, but they don't actually like them as people. This is how patriarchal masculinity socializes men, and why shame, violence, and disgust are so intricately linked.
Here's some things that my soon-to-be ex-husband used to do that I didn't realize wasn't normal until after I left. When the Wi-Fi guy came to install our internet, he made me FaceTime him the entire time because he said that I might try and sleep with him, and then he still accused me of sleeping with him, saying that I could have slept with him before I called him or after I hung up the phone. Didn't tell me happy birthday until right before I fell asleep on my birthday, 2 months after we got married. Gaslit and manipulated me into not having a job and said, I just want you to be a stay-at-home wife. And then when like money problems would come up or any kind of issue with me would come up, he would complain about how I didn't have a job and how I'm just mooching off of him. Only came home and ate dinner with me maybe twice a week because he was at his parents' or his brother's house. He did not get me a Christmas present, but instead he gave me his debit card and said, don't know what you want, you got $50, go get yourself something nice. Complained and told me that I was folding his clothes wrong when he never ever did laundry, wash clothes, nothing. He told me over a year after we'd been married and I was pregnant that he wanted multiple wives, and then he was upset that I was upset about it. Got pissed when my parents bought us groceries one time. Told me that he didn't believe that our son was his son, and when I said get a paternity test, he said, I don't even want to because it could be so close to my brother's DNA that you probably slept with that it would just say that it was mine and I would still never know. When the electricity went out on 2 of our rooms, including a bathroom, and our washing machine was broken, and I tried to get him to fix it for about 9 months, he told me that I should have been more grateful and that it was a test to me because people back in the olden days didn't have that kind of stuff, so I should have just been grateful that I had it in the first place, even if it was broken. Okay, that's all for now. Bye!
Is there really a thing as toxic masculinity? Yes, there is a thing as toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is a set of cultural norms and behaviors with associated traditional expectations of masculinity that are obviously harmful to men and the society as a whole. These norms often promote traits such as aggression, dominance, emotional suppression, and devaluation of traits often associated with femininity. Here are some characteristics and key manifestations of toxic masculinity. Suppression of emotions. Toxic masculinity discourages men from expressing vulnerable emotions such as sadness, fear, or insecurity. Instead, it promotes emotional suppression and the idea that real men should be stoic and unemotional. Aggression and violence. Toxic masculinity glorifies aggression and violence as a means of asserting dominance and power. This can manifest in behaviors such as physical violence, verbal abuse, or the normalization of aggressive attitudes in interpersonal relationships. Sexual objectification. Toxic masculinity often objectifies women and views sexual conquest as a measure of masculinity. It reinforces the idea that men should pursue sexual relationships aggressively and without regard for consent or mutual respect. Dominance and control. Toxic masculinity promotes the idea that men should always be in control and exert dominance over others, particularly in relationships and social interactions. This can lead to controlling and abusive behavior that undermines the autonomy and agency of others. Other characteristics and manifestation of toxic masculinity includes homophobia and transphobia, pressure to conform, and limited expression of masculinity.
Can someone explain to me why the pick-me girls aren't like just naturally falling into the arms of these like whatever type podcast guys? Like,
oh, you mean all the toxic red pill guys that pick-me girls cater to? Yeah, they don't want them. They don't want a woman who's already ready to wait hand and foot on them and give them everything they want at any time, because that's not the person they're looking for. They want an independent woman who's much hotter than a pick-me girl, so they could break them down, manipulate them, gaslight them for years, and turn them into something that they want to do. They want to destroy an independent woman to make them a pick-me girl. So if you want some proof, take Pearl Davis from Just Pearly Things. She is the queen of the pick-me's.
I like ultra far right men. Like almost extreme, doesn't really think women should vote. I think that's
leave marriage for the people that actually believe in, for better or for worse, for
But doesn't sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin, so you wouldn't be able to get married?
What do you mean?
Girls want to sleep around in their 20s and then at 30 run to a man. And but you've lost the things that men value by the time you're 30. You're no longer pure. You're no longer youthful.
Pearl is single, unmarried, childless, well over 25. And according to her, remember, these are all her words. If you're over 25 and don't already have all these things, you have no value. Catering to the very toxic men that she wants, but will never want her back. If a pick-me like her is not going to get picked, then other pick-me's won't get picked.
I'm going to tell you why in the end men don't pick girls who do everything for them. The pick-me girls, as we call them online. The reason is not because they get annoyed by them. It's not anything like that. They will often pick the girl who's hard to get, and those girls they call gold diggers or whatever it is, who are only about themselves, who are all selfish. The reason is because once they get into a relationship with a pick-me girl, they realize how much she takes away from his freedom and how much energy she requires. Because when a woman is all about herself and doing what she wants to do, she also gives that man freedom, and she gives him a status boost as well, and she makes him achieve more. Whilst if you're a pick-me type of woman, you are a pick-me type of woman because you require that same energy back. So when a pick-me doesn't get that type of energy back in a year or in a few months when she's dating him, guess what? She is blowing up your phone. She's asking why you're not consistent. She's asking you where you're going. She's asking you all these questions all the time because she expects her investments returned. So in the end, men don't like that. No matter how much they say they like that, they don't like that. Because the biggest value for men is remaining themselves, having freedom. That is what they want.
Talk about pick-me girls. Pick-me girl is just a derogatory term for women who don't view men negatively. Women who insist that masculinity isn't toxic and that the patriarchy is not fundamentally designed to oppress them. They get bullied into thinking that they're immoral just for having a positive view of masculinity and a willingness to defend it, because feminists consider them traitors to the cause. But what's worse is that feminists will then twist the definition into one where the girl is only saying these positive things because it's what men want to hear. Thus, she's only saying what she says out of a desperate need for male validation, not an authentically established personal belief. So quite offensively, the only two potential labels that these women are left with are she's a traitor or she's dumb and desperate. It can't just be she likes traditional masculinity and doesn't buy into this whole patriarchal oppression crap. So much for uplifting women. And to bring it home, if logically you feminists don't like pick-me girls because they're dumb and desperate, then that means you also hate pick-me boys because they're dumb and desperate. And seeing as you also hate guys like me who are not desperate for your validation, you really are left hating all men, aren't you? What a sad existence.
Why are the pick-me girls not getting picked? If you don't understand what that word means, pick-me girls, basically it means girls or women out there seeking for men's validation, women that are desperately in need of getting validation from men, women that believe in gender roles, and women that believe in serving men, in being at men's beck and call. Those women are always sticking out, I'm the right one, I'm doing it well. They talk down on other women, they make it look like other women don't know what's going on, or I'm better off. They are quick to agree to whatever a man is saying. They don't believe in toxic masculinity. They don't believe in that. They are against the feminism stuff. They want to go back to the traditional wife era. They're ready to serve a man. Isn't that what men truly want? So if those ladies are out there ready to serve men, why are men not picking them? Which is shocking to a lot of people. People are asking, why are these women not getting picked? I'm pretty sure we heard those speakers talk on that. Some people spoke about, oh, those red pill men don't want those ladies because they come off as being needy. If you have a needy partner, do you know what that means? That partner is going to take your time. If the partner wants to fix something, the partner would call you. The needy woman cannot think for herself. The needy woman would want to get instructions from you before she moves a step further. That can be very draining on any man. You understand? So a lot of men want women that can think for themselves, women that can reason for themselves, women that can do things for themselves without waiting for the man to help them what to do. So with the pick-me girls, it's more like living in traditional wife days era, in this modern day and age that everyone needs to be on their toes, everyone needs to be witty, everyone needs to know what to do and think fast. Imagine having such a woman in your home, waiting for a man to call the shot before she can think. Now it's draining on the man. It's too much of workload. So a lot of men are running away from such women, even if it seems as though they're supposed to be the perfect ones, but they don't really want that because they are beginning to see such women as liabilities. And for the toxic masculine men or the red pill men, they don't want such women because those women are already conquered. They're more like a lamb. They don't want that. Toxic men want challenges. There's really nothing intriguing, nothing exciting about a pick-me woman because she already submitted herself. She's submissive. They don't want that. They'd rather go for those women that are pushing the feminism movement, those women that are self-sufficient, those independent women, because to them, they see those women to be challenges. And when they conquer such women, they will feel fulfilled. They've done something. To them, mission accomplished. And for the pick-me women, they are already done deal. Mission accomplished. They conquer themselves by themselves. So those toxic men don't want women like that. They want the women that are going to give them headache. Women that when they say fly and she doesn't fly, she's going to ask, why should I fly? Why are you not the one flying? They don't want a woman that they would say fly and the woman is already flying even before they are done saying fly. They want challenge. And those challenges makes them feel more like men. I mean, those toxic men. Those challenges adds more feathers to their cap, adds more pride to their ego and all that. There's really nothing interesting and intriguing in a pick-me girl. So if you know you are part of them pick-me girls, you might have to reconsider that. Honestly,
I was living in my toxic masculine. I thought that going out and being successful was enough. I thought bringing home the bacon was enough. And I actually used it. Whenever love tried to enter my heart, whenever my partner ever tried to go, oh, we want more time. Time? No, I'm afraid of time because I'm afraid of love. And I went to my little pocketbook of ammunition and I would pull it out. Well, don't you want nice things? Well, you have them, don't you? Because if you don't want them, then I won't work. That's called manipulation from toxic energy. That's not called being a man. Because a man provides it all. A real man provides safety. And when you provide safety, your woman is able to blossom. A man is only able to provide safety when a man has found safety within himself. When a man knows who he is. When a man is not living in toxic masculine energy. When a man is living in God energy, creator energy. And only then can a woman live in goddess energy.
Men with egos are not effective leaders because some men are more concerned about their title than they are maintaining a healthy relationship. Now, I believe there is a God-given level of responsibility entrusted to a man to lead effectively and to be a hedge of protection for him and his family. But I'm also comfortable enough in my manhood to be able to defer to her wisdom, her understanding, and let her lead where she's strong as well. A lot of men see that as beta activity or an indictment on their manhood. They'll say, if you submit to her, then you're not being a good leader. I prefer to say that I recognize she's better suited in this area, and letting her take the wheel will guarantee that we'll get further than if I was driving. And yeah, an effective leader is most fixated on establishing a teamwork culture and least fixated on being dominant to those around him.
Women will roll with you a lot of times if you just keep it G with them and communicate what it is that you're going through. But as men, like, we feel like to maintain our alpha status or to maintain our masculinity that we got to hide certain things from her. Like, we be thinking that we can do both, that we can hide it and go out here and, you know, fix it ourselves. And she don't notice. She good over there until I figure it out. No, she feels all that. And she feels distance because of that. And what distance turns into resentment. So now, you know, she's treating you a certain type of way and you wondering why. And it's just like simple, because you have not communicated to her what it is that you're going through. All you got to do is sit her down. Hey, look, baby, this is what I'm going through right now. This is what I'm trying to figure out. This is what I'm trying to deal with. Now, I don't necessarily need you to jump in and help me directly, but I just need you to understand. And as a woman, if you tell her that, she going to be like, okay, I got you. You know what I'm saying? She going to give you the space that you need to figure it out, because again, your woman knows you better than you know you.
So guys, this is all I have for you guys in this video. What do you think about this topic? Feel free to share with me your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching and thanks for your support so far. I don't take it for granted. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.